I'm trying to take it all in, but I'm honestly just shocked. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. We have been married for 4 years and have been together for 6 years. We were literally the case of opposites attract. I was what is commonly depicted in pop culture as a nerd, as in I was a very good student, but I was also a fine sportsman. But yes, I had very little interest in partying or hookups. It was just not my scene. I don't even drink. She, on the other hand, was someone who loved to drink, party, hookups, etc. In short, she was the cool girl in college. Anyways, we never interacted much in college as we ran in very different circles, but we knew each other as we had a common love, which is math. So we said hi to each other in the library and occasionally discussed math problems. Anyways, that was how our relationship was in college. We were never in contact after college as there was no reason to. Anyways, we met again 3 years later as we were working in adjacent buildings. We eventually started dating and got married. She still liked to party, but due to her busy schedule she hardly went out once every 2 weeks, and I very seldom went with her. Anyways, one night she didn't come home till 3 in the morning, and it was very unlike her as she always came back by 12 to 1 as she is very serious about her sleep regimen and never lets anything disrupt her sleep. But I still remember that day because starting the next day there was a massive change in her. She almost stopped drinking, her party days suddenly declined by 90%, and whenever she went out she insisted that I come with her. She started hanging out with me a lot more and came up with a lot of projects for us to do together. If our relationship before that day was very good, then our relationship after that day became awesome. We have recently started talking about buying a house and starting a family together. Yesterday night we were laying on the bed and I was talking about whether we need 4 or 5 bedrooms in our new home, when suddenly she burst into tears. I consoled her, and when she became coherent she said that she has to share something with me which has been weighing on her conscience for 3 years now. She then confessed that she cheated on me with a guy she met during a night out. She told me that some guys kept buying drinks for her and her friend, and although initially she didn't want to accept the free drinks, eventually she gave in as her friend was really interested in one of those guys. And I can attest to the fact that she never accepts drinks from guys. She was famous even during college days for never accepting drinks from anyone. She always paid for her own drinks. Anyways, eventually they decided to go to the guy's house as her friend begged her to. She admitted that she should have said no at that point, but she didn't. So they went back to the guy's apartment and the GF hooked up with the guy. My wife was sitting with the friend in the living room, and well, they also hooked up. It was not full-on penetrative sex, but everything else happened. After coming home she realized just how big a mistake she made and committed to making major life changes, including dropping the said friend and drastically decreasing her alcohol intake. I asked her why she didn't tell me then, and she replied that she didn't want to lose me, especially as she was never going to do it again. Then I asked why tell me now. She said that when I started talking about our future together she was wrecked with guilt and she didn't want to build a future life with me based on secrets. So she confessed. I didn't know how to respond, so I asked for some space from her. Right now I am in my second bedroom deciding about my next course of action. I am open to any and all suggestions, people. Right now I have not told anyone else. Here is the second story. I double-checked my wife's stories and now I feel free. So my wife of 11 years, and 2 kids, had an affair. It was mostly sexting, but they did meet up a few times and got somewhat physical. She says they never had sex, but he had put his hand in her pant and she denies reciprocating. I found out by anonymous email. When I confronted her she admitted to sexting but denied the physical part. Then I got a creepy phone call where I was told it was a physical affair. Not many details though. She gave me trickle truths after I got the phone call, but I know she hasn't told me everything, specifically one of the places they met. I discovered this location with some investigative efforts. She is making efforts to rebuild the marriage, but I know she hasn't come fully clean. I know they met somewhere that she hasn't told me about. She admitted to some other places. How do I approach this? Should I forget this and move on since she is making an effort? Also possible that she has lied about the extent of the affair and that it was way more physical than I thought. I love my kids more than anything and can't imagine my life without them every day. I also really love my wife and I'm hoping to rebuild our marriage. We are in marriage therapy but having a tough time with this issue. Any advice is appreciated. Update 1. The plan now is I'm going to contact the affair partner on Monday to find out how physical the affair was. If he doesn't tell me the truth, I'm going to tell his wife everything. Once I talk to him, I will give my wife one last shot to come clean. Update 2. So I contacted the AP. I told him that if he didn't tell me the whole truth, then my next stop was to go tell his wife. He admitted to everything and his story lined up with what my wife told me. He was extremely remorseful and apologetic. Every little detail that my wife told me lined up. There is no way that they could have coordinated their stories to match every detail, and I know they have not spoken because I have full visibility of her phone data. He even offered to take me out for a beer to tell me how sorry he was and answer any more questions I had. I told him there was zero chance of that happening. I reiterated that if I found out something he told me wasn't true or if he omitted anything, I'd come back to haunt him. He swore that there was nothing else. So the conversation did help me. I feel much better that I have the whole truth. So now the journey will continue in MC and IC. Hopefully we can work through it all. Here is the third story. My wife's affair has destroyed our family and is ripping through us like cancer. Since the affair was disclosed just under a year ago, the aftermath of the affair has destroyed my life, my family, and is continuing to destroy the little that we do have left. Since D-Day, my wife has done everything she possibly can to try and fix and help me heal. Cut contact with the affair partner, changed mobile numbers, came off social media, moved city, changed cars. But it's been hard work and it's getting harder. Time should be making things better, but things feel like they are getting worse. I have always had a problem with her version of events. I have never really been given the full story from start to finish. I have always been given parts of what happened and filled in the blanks myself. She doesn't rub my face in it but sticks by the fact that he made her happy, but she doesn't want him. She wants us and only us. He was a massive mistake and she wants to get on with our lives. But how? How do you really move on? When in the back of my mind is what they did. What they felt, and the biggest one is how she could even do it when she had a loving family at home. She is always showing me love, sending texts saying she loves me and we will get through this. Why isn't this enough? I get triggered by the texts that she sends to me and I always have a thought, did she say that to him? At this stage I understand I won't be over it, but shouldn't I at least be at a stage where we don't argue, bicker or fight every day and discuss the affair? She is giving answers and I'm not accepting them. It's like unless the answer she gives hurts me in some way, I don't believe it. I have a feeling I'm not getting the whole story. The story doesn't add up. Should I leave it and try and move on? As I really want my wife and my family back. Or do I continue to try and get what I believe may be the truth? But then there is always a possibility that she has given me the truth and I'm just pushing her away. My biggest fear is that she still has feelings, no matter how small, for her affair partner, and there is always a chance this can start up all over again. You can't have a 2-month physical and emotional affair and come away with no feelings. Like she is trying to get me to believe. It's clear the affair partner meant something to her, but she denies this and says the affair was a mistake and he meant and means nothing. Isn't this what cheaters normally say? Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.